guys, it's Tay Renee with Tay Renee the PA, and today we are talking all about the clinical year and all things clinical rotations. Stay tuned. So I'm so excited to be doing this video. Welcome back. We are now fully immersed in the clinical year, and let me tell you, while I'm having so much fun, I am also so very tired. It's not the same. I'm not studying as much as I was the first year, but I am still studying quite a bit. But I am actually in the field, in the medical offices, in the hospital, in the ORs, doing all the things, and let's talk about it. So first, with my particular program, we have 10 clinical rotations. 2 of them are electives and the other are required. And we are basically assigned a rotation. And what a rotation is, a 4-week experience where we are working the same hours, doing most of the things while supervised, of course, because we are still students. But we go through that 4 weeks, and at the end of the 4 weeks, we are tested, our knowledge is tested on that particular subject. So a little bit about my personal clinical year. I started off in psychiatry. I did 2 weeks inpatient psychiatry and then 2 weeks outpatient / consulting. I actually enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would, especially being in the inpatient unit. You guys, seeing patients in there it's an experience. It's an eye-opener to the actual struggles of mental health and various mental health conditions and issues. And I feel like if everyone was able to get a snapshot of what someone who was dealing with mental issues and what that looked like and how severe it can get, I feel like that stigma against mental health would quickly dissipate. But I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but I will say that was a rewarding experience. I feel like I needed it to just further improve my patient care skills, and it just provided a different level of depth, that it actually a depth of compassion and empathy that is actually required when dealing with these patients, or any patients for that matter, because we don't know what people are dealing with. Even if the patient did not come in for mental health issues, they may be experiencing something that is affecting their mental. So I really appreciated and really liked that and enjoyed that rotation. My next rotation was family medicine. I actually had to travel out of my town, and I went to a different location, and I worked actually in the VA for a month for a family practice. Granted, with the VA, 90% of my patients were men, and older males, but I was still able to get that well-rounded experience of family medicine and how that was. And then after family medicine, I had primary care. Now, my primary care was a little bit different. It was oddly specific. I was in a pediatric endocrinology specialty clinic, and that was very interesting. I saw a wide variety of things, from type 1 diabetes to thyroid issues to like congenital short stature and growth and development issues. And me, like personally, I enjoyed that. I do have a love for endocrinology and all things endocrine, whether it be diabetes, thyroid issues, adrenal gland issues. I have a heart for physiology, and I loved asking why and knowing the nitty gritty, itty bitty details of everything. And that's basically endocrine. So that was really fun for me to watch, and just seeing all the little kiddos every day was so cute and so fun. One like specific memory of that rotation I had was a kid who had been in the hospital for months, and I'm talking about like almost 6 months. And it was his birthday coming up, but also he was getting ready to be discharged. So all of his care teams and the entire unit, we threw him a big birthday party, and it was Marvel themed, and it was just so amazing and so great to see that, like, he's missed out on so many things, but we were able to give him that one special moment. And not only to see how it impacted him, but also his family, and how grateful they were that we did that, without like being prompted or asked to do that. We just did that. So that was really cool. And that was the first semester of my clinical year. Now, I will say, at the end of the year, when it was time, or at the end of each month or each rotation, each 4 weeks that we had to take our exam, at first it was a little bit hectic because I was working pretty much 40 plus hours a week, still having to come home and study, but also being mindful of like, oh, I have to eat, I should probably be exercising, I need to keep on a good sleep routine. So it was a lot more factors that I was trying to juggle. So it was a little hectic of trying to get into the flow of things and being able to study and sit down and concentrate and study. That was a lot at first, but I got into my rhythm. And going into the second semester, or the second part of our clinical year, it was a little bit easier as far as time management. I had already knew what the expectations were. I knew how the exam formats were going to be. And granted, we were given a study guide, or at least a topic list of everything that could possibly be on the exam and how much of each topic would be on the exam. So it wasn't so bad. And then it's not like we were studying everything that we learned from the first year. It was specified to our clinical rotation. So while I was on my psych rotation, I was studying all things psych. While I was on my family medicine rotation, I was studying pretty much everything, because family medicine encompasses everything. But it wasn't as bad as studying during the didactic or the first year of PA school. After family medicine, my next rotation was surgery. So that was cool. I particularly had a vascular surgery rotation. So that was dealing with like varicose veins and wounds that won't heal, and cleaning out wounds like that. And vascular, it's not for the faint of heart. Yes, we did do a few amputations, which I loved. I personally am like, I'm a low-key nerd for all of those things. So I love the like amputations and all of that stuff. What got me was the wounds. I don't do well with the wounds. And especially when patients had like lymphatic, like draining issues, where their legs would or their like limbs would start to seep and weep fluid. And when you have weeping legs, and what I mean by that, like there's literally lymphatic fluid that drains through your lymph system, just like blood drains through your arteries and your veins. You also have lymphatic fluid, and that is a part of your immune system, and that helps carry germs and to the place that they need to go to be expelled and all that stuff. So, and it helps fight infection as well. When you have so much swelling and so much blockage within your vessels, that fluid has to go somewhere. So if it's not able to flow through the vessels, it's going to seep out through your skin, and your skin is going to be leaking. And when you have weeping and seeping of your like fluid out of your skin, it's going to create ulcers and wounds, and that stuff get real nasty, y'all. Like, if you have a wound that is not healing, please go see the doctor expeditiously. So I quickly realized that was not my field. I love surgery, but not vascular. But I say all that to just to give y'all a glimpse of everything that we went through. It was very cool. I loved the preceptors that I worked with. They were so knowledgeable and so helpful, and just amazing across the board. They were low-key trying to recruit me, but I politely declined because vascular is not my thing. Y'all, y'all don't realize how many like anti-nausea pills I had to take just to get through the day. Not for me. So, but I did have fun. I did learn a lot. I learned so much, and it was a great experience. After that, my next rotation was women's health. That, as you can see, my favorite. I was able to rotate through everything women's health, from labor and delivery, Urogyn, which is urology and gynecology put together, and dealing with incontinence issues and different vaginal issues. And then I did a general like outpatient clinic as well. And then general like GYN or women's surgeries, like removing ovarian cancer, endometrial lesions, and hysterectomies and different things like that. So I really got a chance to rotate through everything. By far favorite was, of course, L&D. That was an experience. Like, I don't even know how to describe it accurately, but it is, you have to be a special human being to work on that floor, because while we think of labor and delivery, we're thinking of, oh, women delivering babies, it must be a happy time. It can also be a very, very, very sad time for people. So being able to work into that and work in that environment day in and day out, and just maintaining a positive like outlook on life and outlook on your practice as a provider, it really takes a special person. And being on that unit, I personally was able to be on that unit for half of my rotation, which is a little rare, but I feel like I was blessed to have that experience. And I was really able to see like the toll it could take on a provider going through that, having to experience and walk parents and family members through that experience, whether it be the happiest time of their lives or the saddest. So that really changed my outlook on the type of women's health care I want to provide. After that, I believe I had peds. I was in a pediatric rotation. I love the kids. I am super cool with kids. It was fun. It was fun. I felt like I was dodging sickness left and right. Because little kids, they don't really know how to cover their mouths and not cough on you or cough in your face while you're trying to listen to their heartbeat and so yeah, I just had to stay up on my immune boosters and hope and pray that I didn't get sick. But that was really cool to be able to go into like the emergency room and the outpatient clinics and different areas and practice medicine from like newborns all the way up to adolescents and young adults. So that was really cool. I felt like I was a big kid. Sometimes I was practicing medicine laying on the floor with the kid. So it was really like just a relaxer and just like, it was stressful at sometimes because kids can get sick very fast, but it was also fun because kids are just like, they're little balls of energy and little balls of fun. And how can you not have fun? Coming from a person who doesn't have kids. So, but I really enjoyed that. I also was able to see like some of the systemic disparities that various kids and families face, especially within healthcare. Every family are not afforded the same opportunities as some families are. And one thing in particular that our program is adamant about, or make sure you have that experience during your pediatric clinical rotation, is working in, we call it the Beacon Clinic, but it's a clinic for abuse and kids who are abused and who are going through the system in that nature. And it can get very depressing very quickly, very sad. And granted, I do have a good amount of experience of working with kids in the system, and my personal family have taken care of foster children and have helped out with the system since I can remember. We've always been like growing up, our home was always welcome to like kids who needed help, foster kids coming in who, whether it's for years or for temporary placement. So hearing those stories wasn't really new to me during my clinical rotation. However, being the provider who actually takes those actions and who actually deals with it, and who's oftentimes the first person to recognize, hey, there's some type of abuse going on. It was different, because what I was used to seeing was like after the courts have gotten involved and after kids have been removed from the home or whatever. But now seeing it to before it has even gotten to that point, and being the one fighting and advocating for these kids. And sometimes the system is flawed, y'all. Like sometimes it doesn't turn out the best for the kids. They are being forced to remain in a situation that is proven time and time again that it's not healthy. So dealing with those frustrations and kind of dealing with like being at a stalemate of, yes, you are the medical provider, but there's only so much you can do. You can contact the social worker, contact the courts, contact X, Y, and Z, but there's a process, and that process takes time. And unfortunately, until that process is seen through and has happened, there's not really much you can do from a provider standpoint. So that was probably one of the hardest things I've had to deal with in this clinical year, and especially in that rotation. It was hard, but I did learn a lot. And it gave me a new perspective or a different perspective on those things. So I was very grateful for that. My last mandatory required rotation was emergency medicine. And y'all, if I was not nervous about any other rotation, it was this one. Emergency med is not my thing. No. I love what I love, and I don't like what I don't like. And the possibility of getting anything at any time, it didn't really sit well with me, because I like to be prepared, and I don't know. But however, like, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. I was catching on quickly. I was already at the end of my clinical year. So I had already had a year of practicing pretty much in every field. So my clinical year schedule just worked out perfectly. Like, what better way to end on emergency medicine than after you've gone through everything and seen everything. And granted, I want to say, unfortunately, I was called a white cloud more often than not during my clinical year. And it was frustrating to me, but I guess it was good because patients weren't really coming in. The acuity wasn't that high while I was on a lot of my clinical rotations, but it wasn't good for me because I didn't get the experience that I wanted. Like, I wanted to see all the things. And I guess it's better than being a black cloud. So, but yeah, that became my nickname, White Cloud. I didn't know how to take it. I wasn't too happy about it. But in hindsight, I am glad I did not see all the things, because I know my strengths, and I don't know how I would have played out in some of those situations that I hear my classmates talking about. So all's well that ends well. Yeah, but emergency med was fun. I was able to learn a lot. I was pushed to my limits, pushed and encouraged to trust in myself and trust in my clinical decision making. That is one thing that I do have to work on, is second guessing myself. Like, I know the knowledge, I've studied a lot, it's there, but when it comes to like spitting it out and creating a treatment plan and assessment and all of that, I kind of clam up sometimes, or I second guess myself sometimes, or I'll suggest something and then y'all know how like you give your friend advice, but you always follow up with like, but that's just me though, do what you want. Yeah, that didn't translate so well into like the medical field because they really like push you to stick firm with your decision making and be confident in that, especially if you want your patients to trust you, you know. So that was challenging, but I needed it and I am grateful for it. So yeah, those were, I don't think I missed anything, but those were my clinical rotations. Next up are our elective rotations that we're getting ready to go into. I'm so excited. My elective rotations, my first one is maternal fetal medicine, which is basically like a high risk pregnancy office. And then my second elective is minimally invasive gynecological surgeries. So I'm so excited. Y'all know I love women's health. I will do a video hopefully I'll get to do a video and let y'all know how that goes. But yeah, that's the clinical year in a nutshell. We had like clinical rotations, 10 clinical rotations, 4 weeks each, and an exam after each clinical rotation. And that exam was focused on that specific rotation that we had just finished up. Now I will say in the next coming months, we do have like a final big exam of everything we learned from our clinical and our didactic year, the first and the second year of PA school. So taking these monthly exams is kind of helpful. Like you're still able to study and whatnot. You're not going too long without studying. So that's good. That's really good. I hope so. I hope it'll be good. So yeah, that's really it. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel so you can hear more things about PA school, PAs, the PA profession, physician assistant, all the things. And if you have questions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Follow me on social media, on Instagram. I try to post more on Instagram, like little snippets of my day or things that I've done or seen. I try to do that on Instagram more often than making it like a full video. So follow me there. I'll drop all those links below. And yeah, if you have any questions, feedback, comment, compliments, concerns, let me know in the comments. All right. It's been fun, y'all. Bye.